guys, it's Anthony. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to do the first episode of what I call the Sales Club, which I wanted to design to be a little bit more relaxed, not as performative, kind of chill, where I can go through my notes, which are thousands of pages worth of notes, honestly, of all different stuff pertaining to car sales, beginning in car sales. This is really for, car sales for beginners, some tips for them to kind of get going and to just have a little bit more confidence from a knowledge standpoint. I feel like even in the beginning when selling cars, I'm finding with some of the newer guys and girls that I have in the dealerships that I'm with, even if they don't really kind of know what to do when they have a customer per se, or there's still parts of the process that they're kind of hoping to avoid, or like, if I get to this part, what do I do then? If they have any knowledge whatsoever, if we have any knowledge whatsoever, it just makes us feel more empowered. It just makes us feel stronger and at least gives us something to lean in on. And I do believe in leaning in on your strengths. So just going through some of the notes that I took this week. One thing to remember when you just start out as a salesperson, when you're negotiating, stay seated as long as you possibly can. We talked about this in other videos. Your first trip to the desk is your worst trip to the desk, meaning that if the customer asks you to go back up to the tower or the sales desk or your manager to see how much better you could do, that first trip tells them that there's a possibility that every time you go up there and come back, the numbers could get lower, and that works against you, right? So your first trip to the desk is your worst trip to the desk. Stay seated. There's no rule that says you have to be the one that breaks, right? Somebody's going to give a little bit, and the longer you stay seated, the longer you grind, the more you keep asking the same question over and over and over again, you're going to wear them down. So stay seated. Even if they stand up, stay seated. And as you become more experienced and your confidence is there and you really start to feel that the courage of your convictions can kind of bring that customer back down into their seat, you won't panic. In the beginning, you're going to panic a little bit. Listen, I'm not saying let the customer run out of the showroom on you. Obviously, if you work at like a cubicle type setting, if they get up and they leave the cubicle, well, then you're going to have to chase them down a little bit. And early on, management and your managers should be doing early intervention. They should be getting involved in your deals early on. And they should, honestly, it's up to them to have a finger on the pulse of what's going on with you and your customers. So in the very beginning, that doesn't all fall on you. As you become more experienced, they're going to be less inclined to constantly know exactly where you're at with your customer because they trust that you have control over them. And that's cool too. That's just the natural progression of sales in general and them building confidence in you. But stay seated. When that customer stands up, right, let's say they're like, listen, everything's great. I just got to get out of here. I don't think it's going to work out. They start standing up. You can't stand with them. When you stand with them, you're agreeing with them that whatever's taking place right here is over for right now. And you don't want to agree with them in regards to that. Stay seated. When you're negotiating, I like to say, doggy paddle as long as you can, right? Doggy paddle until you feel like you're going to drown. Then hop out of the pool. There's no reason to drown. And when I say drown, I mean once you hit a dead end or you feel like your credibility is being compromised because what you're saying is no longer making sense. You're talking in circles and it's not adding up, and you feel like the rapport is kind of deteriorating or your credibility is deteriorating, then hop out of the pool. And you could just say simply to your customer, old trick, this one's tried and true. You know what? Give me 1 second. I have a great idea. I'll be right back. And when you say it, do it as you're standing up. So it's kind of like this. You know what? Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Can I get you a bottle of water or a cup of coffee? Right? Can I get you a bottle of water or a cup of coffee? Like, say it as you're moving away from the desk. Don't say, hey, could you give me a minute and I'll be right back? Because then they're going to say, you know what? It's just better off I get out of here. But hey, you know what? Give me a minute. I have a great idea. I'll be right back. You know what? I got a great idea. Give me 1 second. But say it as you're moving. Ask them for the bottle of water or a cup of coffee, basically as you're walking away from them. So just little tricks like that. Once you're, I like to do it in such a way where I'm almost halfway to the sales desk as I'm talking to them, asking if they want something to drink or just hang tight. I'll be right back. Because at that point in their mind, they're like, all right, well, she's already halfway up there. Let's just see what's going on here, right? So just little tricks like that, but stay seated. Don't panic. What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? The manager chases the customer. And listen, you don't want your manager running out the door. But at the end of the day, I'd rather you not panic. I'd rather you stay calm because you're going to need to be calm and you're going to need to be stress-free to be able to efficiently execute the closing of the deal, if the customer does stay there. So don't stress, don't panic, and stay seated. Let's see. Here's another one too. After you've exhausted all options, you immediately have to transition into follow-up mode. Immediately transition into follow-up mode. So as we've exhausted all options, we can't make a car deal. Don't just say to your customer, all right, well, I'll see you later. Hopefully I'll talk to you soon. If you need me, let me know, and kind of let them leave. Walk them to the door. And as you're walking, start building confidence that, hey, listen, we're definitely going to make a deal happen. Go home, relax. Start to let them off the hook because you don't want them to feel awkward to reach back out to you. Start planting seeds as to when they can hear from you again. Listen, go home, relax, talk it over. I'm going to shoot you a text later on just to check in, but I'll call you tomorrow morning anyway. Digest the information, think about it. We're going to make a deal happen. It's just, listen, I'm glad today that we actually did some fact finding, and it's going to work out better in the long run. We'll make something happen for you. I'm totally confident. Not a problem whatsoever. Let them off the hook. In business and in life, you always have to allow the other person the opportunity to save face. I tell all of my new young wolves that in business and in life, you always have to allow the other person the opportunity to save face. You don't ever want them to feel like their tail's going to be between their legs if they come back around to your way of thinking or reach back out to you or give you a call later on and say, listen, Anthony, I know we didn't want to go with the lease option, but do you think you could kind of work up some payments on that for me? Like, you don't ever want them to feel embarrassed to do that or embarrassed to let you know that, hey, I know we had told you that we couldn't put the $5,000 down in the form of a down payment, but, if we did do that, would that get us where we need to be? If they feel embarrassed to come back to you, if you leave on a bad note, right, your last impression with them is going to be a lasting impression. Last impressions are lasting impressions. If you feel like you leave on a bad note, you got to make sure you have that olive branch extended, either with a follow-up text, just thanking them and letting them know, hey, listen, any questions at all, please reach back out to me. I got you. I'm going to give you a call tomorrow. We're going to make it happen for you. It was such a pleasure to be able to work with you, and we are going to make a deal happen. If they feel embarrassed to come back to you, they're going to reach out to somebody else. Then all that hard work you did goes to waste to some schmuck that just ran into a car deal because your customer felt uncomfortable reaching back out to you. Hey, my friend, thank you for watching. And if you want to see videos just like this one, please like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate the love and support. And don't forget, leave some comments down below. I'm looking forward to all of your interaction and feedback, and I can't wait to bring you more videos just like this one. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.